Bullying. This is a serious problem that we face in today's society. And in fact, it's so serious that I'm going to tell you of two accounts that are so horrific that it actually just gives you a picture of how horrible this problem is. This one girl, she was 14 years old. She decided to take a kitchen knife and stab herself to the heart in front of her bullies because she was just bullied so much. And another girl, she was a teenager too. She decided to take a gun, shoot herself right inside the chest because she couldn't take the cyberbullying that she was facing, such as people were calling her ugly and fat. These are just some of the very many stories that people face when it comes to in terms of bullying. And this is something that we see all the time. We see it in schools all the time, people bullying each other, people making fun of each other. Cyberbullying, especially with technology, as technology is advancing these days, people are easily able to cyberbully each other. Now with this problem, there needs to be a solution. But before we go into that, I'm going to explain what bullying is. Bullying is the intentional behavior that hurts, harms, or humiliates a student, either physically or emotionally. It can happen at school, in a community, or online. Now, this is a serious problem that people face every day. In fact, it's a growing problem. According to PACER's National Bullying Prevention Center, 1 of every 5 students is bullied. And that doesn't even include the students who don't report it. 64% of students are bullied and they don't even report it. So this is a really huge problem. And according to an article provided by the Harris Poll, Americans agree that technology is making cyberbullying easier, making bullying a growing problem in today's society. 1 out of every 5 students is bullied. So this is a huge problem. But in fact, we do know of solutions, right? We know that there are anti-bullying solutions happening in today's society, but what's going on with those? Well, here's the effects of bullying on the victim. Let's talk about those first. Well, on the victim, it doesn't even affect just the victim, it also affects the bully, and it affects the bystanders, the people who watch the bullying. Well, let's talk about these. Depression, anxiety, sleep difficulty, poor performance in schools, negative health effects, talking about headaches and stomach problems, low self-esteem and confidence, and suicidal thoughts. And then on the bully also is affected, an increased risk of academic problems, increased risk of substance abuse, and adolescent years, he tends to have more of a tendency to violence in adolescent years and in his adult years. And there's a strong association between bullying and suicide. And also with the bystanders. There are increased use in alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, increased mental problems, depression and anxiety. There's a higher tendency for students to miss or skip school because there's bullying within schools, and a risk of the victim themselves, especially with the use of technology. Anybody's a victim to bullying. It can happen to anybody, and that's why it's such a big problem in these days. So why have other anti-bullying solutions have not worked? Raise your hand if you've heard of anti-bullying solutions. Have you guys heard of that in schools? Okay, well, here's the problem with anti-bullying solutions. A lot of times, they don't assess the problem. They don't really get down to the nitty-gritty and the root of the problem of what's going on with bullying. Studies has shown that there's a higher percentage of students with anti-bullying programs in their schools. They have a higher percentage of experiencing bullying than students who are in schools without bullying solutions in the schools. Such as, for example, bullies choose not to practice the preventive techniques. They kind of have like, oh, I'm not going to use those programs or techniques. And they also learn how to have a more effective way of bullying the students. Like, oh, that's the way how to not get caught. I'm not going to do it that way. And then the cost of anti-bullying is expensive, and many programs do not understand the why of why students bully. So let's get down to the solution. The solution can be defined in 1 word, or 2 words, martial arts. Martial arts can help solve this solution of bullying. And how can that help? How can that work? Well, I'm going to propose that martial arts be implemented within the physical education system of schools today. And how does that work, you may ask? How do we implement this within the physical education system? Well, PE teachers would be given a universal martial arts curriculum that they would be trained how to teach all students. They would incorporate valuable life skills such as respect, integrity, discipline, and all those other awesome, valuable life skills. They also would incorporate self-defense techniques and students would be tested on a rank every next month. If student progresses in rank, the PE teachers can assign student trainers in order to train younger students or less experienced students within the martial art. And if the school finds the curriculum to be successful, then they can also make it into a sport. Just like how there are sports for basketball or sports for softball or football, there can be a sport for martial arts. And they would also go to competitions. They would go to state championships. They would have uniforms. They would have sparring gear. They would spar against other schools. And if the school still seems like they need funds, they could also hold car washes or bake sales. There's always ways to raise money that way. Now, there are already some successful martial arts implemented in schools even today. These are just a few of the examples. In fact, the picture that I showed you before, this picture, this is Kickstart Kids. This is implemented all over Texas area, and it was founded by Chuck Norris himself. This program is actually all over the Texas land area. In fact, there are 86 schools within the Texas land area, and there are 85,000 students within, 8,500 students within these programs. And both the administrators and the teachers and the students all love it. And they are finding that there is a positive climate within these students, a positive attitude. Students are more respectful and they're more disciplined. And they found that it's very, very successful and that they're even going to championships and things like that. And with these schools, this Alpha Public Schools, it's a chain of charter schools. There's two specifically that I wanted to mention. There are two in San Jose. And with these two public schools, they incorporated a bunch of calisthenics, boxing, self-defense techniques within their curriculum. And they found that the participation within physical education went up to 100%. Everybody wanted to be involved. Everybody wanted to be like, oh, this is cool, I want to be a part of it. And it even accredited its curriculum to making even the worst of students the best of students. Such as this one student, his name is Trey Ramos, and he even claimed to himself, I was the worst student. He was the worst student because he disrespected teachers, he disrespected classmates, but now he's one of the leaders of this curriculum, and he teaches other students how to do boxing and things like that. And these other two schools, Crestwood Preparatory College and Preparatory College down in Arizona, these two colleges these two schools are also implementing martial arts within their PE curriculum, and it's found to be successful. Now, we see how this can be implemented and how it can be successful. Well, let's talk about the benefits of it. The benefits are it would reduce bullying on the victim. The victim would have all of these wonderful qualities. He'll have confidence, he'll have discipline, he'll have self-control, he'll be able to control his emotions. He'll have self-esteem, confidence, communication skills. He'll be able to have more friends because of martial arts. And not only that, he would be taught self-defense. And then on the bully, he would also have confidence. He would have structure and discipline, something that many bullies don't have at home. They're not really taught what's right and wrong. They kind of just do what they want. So they would have that structure and discipline in their life. And they're also taught respect. They're taught humility. Can you imagine someone smaller than you is able to kick your butt and try to bully that person? That would be kind of showing you how to learn how to have humility in that sense. And then they would also have developed leadership skills as they teach younger students how to do martial arts, and they would relieve stress within martial arts. It creates a different atmosphere within the school. There is an atmosphere of respect and honor. Students are taught how to respect authority when you talk about instructors and high ranks and juniors and seniors. And there's also martial arts creed stated in every class. This is something that we do at my school, and I'm sure they do with other martial arts. Such things like, I will give my best effort in all endeavors. This is something that the student would say in class. I will have self-discipline. I will take responsibility for my actions and attitude. I am dedicated to the dreams and goals that are most important to me. Can you imagine students, like a whole school, saying this all together every day? And imagine how much that would build inside of the students and the change that would be affected in that. And then it also would create leaders. They would learn valuable life skills. They would learn how to set goals and achieve them. They would learn how to properly communicate well with others, and they'd be physically fit, and they would have higher ranks teach lower ranks, so they kind of get that teaching ability inside of them as well. Now you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, this is so awesome. How do I help this? Well, here's the cool thing. Alpha School Curriculum, Alpha's public school personalized curriculum training, actually offers a free curriculum on their website. So you can actually go to your grade school or your high school and propose this curriculum and actually give them the link to the website and say, here's a new solution. Can you try doing this? And it actually has proven to work. There's also little steps you can do. You can be encouraging to everyone you meet. You can be sociable, make new friends, promote open communication with your friends and family and with little children. And you can also speak out against bullying, because bullying, like I said before, it's a serious problem, and we need to combat against it. And if you see bullying, if you happen to drive by and see bullying happen, stop in and stop it. Step in and stop it, because it's serious, and we need to take action in this. So out of all these things, like I said, my proposed solution is to propose martial arts within the physical fitness, physical education curriculum. And how can we do that? Well, creating leaders one black belt at a time. And that's what I hope to do in the future.